I am the $1 million man, the $100 million man. And why is that? Because this year I am raising $100 million to grow the planet, to improve the planet, and to improve the world that we live in. Now, imagine yourself getting out of this long, long limousine with all your team, everyone that you've worked with for the past year, building this amazing project that you've been part of, and in front of you, there's a huge 50-story building, a huge hotel that with the architecture is so nice. You work with the best architects in the world, and you are part of this project. Now, this is not it. There's development all around. There's universities being built. There's homes. There's a golf. There's so much value, jobs, the high-speed train. And this is all because you were part of this group of the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the planet, and you are part of this. Now, let me tell you a bit how to get there. And that's by investing. And I have my personal story I will tell you about, but you want to make sure that you feel the projects that you invest in. You want to make sure that the people that take care of that project can make it happen. And you want to be proud to tell everyone that you are part of this. So how I started myself, I was a firefighter, got my job in 2009, being part-time at first, not working too many hours, did $15,000 Canadian in my first year, which is not much, but I still managed to put 33% aside, so invested $5,000. And let's say I had not read The Richest Man in Babylon yet, but I had the thoughts. I went to the bank and I decided I want to invest in projects that are good for the environment. I only want to invest in businesses with renewable energy. So I approached my banker. I told him about the renewable energy portfolio I wanted. He said, we don't have that product. So I said, so what should I do? Should I invest directly in the companies myself? And he said, well, this is very risky and you might lose all your money. You could invest because of your values, or we have this portfolio right here of stocks that have a guarantee of good returns because look at the numbers from the past years. And unfortunately, because I did not know about investing yet, I did follow his advice, invested in his portfolio, which made good returns to the bank every year because they charge you to invest there. But over 6 years, I made 4.6% return net on my amount. And I was adding it every year. Now, if you consider the cost of life every year, I was losing money from that investment. Now, that for me was my first site with a guaranteed low return investment. Very boring, and I would not suggest this to people like us here in this crowd. So, what I did is start to learn about investing, and because you want to minimize the risk. And how do you minimize the risk? Well, it's by learning everything about this risk. Now, being a firefighter, same thing happens. There's a burning building and people are running out of this building because they are scared and they don't know what to do and their life is in danger. We as firefighters work together, train for it, have the equipment, and we can come in, get the people out, secure the building, and make it a safe environment. Because we understand the triangle of the fire, you need the heat, you need the combustible, which is the wood or the materials, and you need the comburant, which the oxygen that breathes the fire. If you remove one, now you've controlled the fire. So it's kind of what you know and what you put in there will make you control the risk. So what I learned from that is same thing can be done and applied to investments. So unfortunately, I had an accident and with this leg, I teared my ACL and had to go through surgery, 8 months of readaptation. And during that time, I had to think about, what if this happens again? What if I cannot be a firefighter anymore? I need to learn new skills. And by knowing how to control risk, and that I know I'm pretty good at managing it, I decided to do this for my investments. What I wanted to do first is go back in time and invest in those environmentally friendly companies that I believed in, and I believed that it was the future. I had the vision for it, but that I did not do 6 years before. So I read about Elon Musk, and people know him, and wanted to invest in Tesla, in Shopify, because I was learning about e-commerce, found a lot of value in that. But transferring my money that was in my investment portfolio from the bank, and because I was not happy from those bank services, I decided to transfer it to another bank. They said it would take 2 weeks. Easy. It took 2.5 months. So I could not do those investments in Tesla and Shopify at the right time. During those 2.5 months, one company raised from 60% and the other one 75% return on investment. Now that is a good short-term return on your investment. But I have to let that go because I did not control the transfer of the money. So I read on this, studied Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger about investing, and what they say is you only invest in what you know. So so now you control your investment a little more. So I started doing classes and networking, getting coaches for real estate investment and for business, and learning everything about it. Then you want to do it yourself. So you want to take a risk and a step forward and try it yourself. That's where you get the most value, because you will make mistakes, but those mistakes are so important because they teach you how to not make them again. And you remember that. So I was lucky to be invited to work with First Nations in Manitoba, where we were looking at economic development on reserve. I was approached by the consultants that work with them to come in as their investor. They had other investors' money. I was to approach and start a business plan, help with the growth. The mistake I made is take everything on my shoulders and try to do it myself. Try to give it as a gift, but that's a mistake. You want people involved. You want people to be part of this project and be so proud that they are the project too, that they wanted to succeed, and this will bring you to success. While I was there, I was approached to other First Nations from British Columbia, where I went, spent a month. We were looking at many projects, like a 20-acre land with a mobile home, agricultural land. It had not been used for many years, and they were kind of living day to day, lacking a bit of money. So what we did is look at this land. What can we do on it? And since we were looking with medical marijuana, because we saw high value with that business, because we think and we have a vision that this will change the face of the business. The pharmaceutical company will tend to go towards something natural like marijuana. And so we started working on that and looking at hemp too, because it's a cousin from the plant, but the fiber is so amazing. It is so healthy, and you can use the fiber for clothes, for buildings, etc. So we looked at both and then decided to go with medical marijuana, because let's say the dollar per square foot it produces is a bit high at the moment. While I was doing that and working on those business plans, well, I was investing in other medical marijuana companies, where during the year it kind of plunged, lost 60% on one, 30% on the other one, but I knew it would come back. So I kept it there and sold recently for 360% return in less than a year. But that's a stock market. You are not the company and you don't really control what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I like to be hands-on as an investor. You want to be active, be part of the change, and be part of what is happening. So a few people I talked about those projects and where I had invested my money, they were wondering about the medical marijuana thing. I told them, look, this is what I have done. This is what I know, and you can either invest some money and try it yourself or do nothing. Well, they decided to do nothing, and within a month, one of the companies I had invested in doubled in value in 1 month. Now that's a good return on your investment. Then came back home, continued studying real estate, and was coached by a few mentors, attending seminars, doing networking events all the time, getting close to the business because you want to learn it before you put all your eggs in it. And one of my mentors told me recently, and that made a change in my mind. He said, Guillaume, if this was the last $50,000 you had, would you invest it in that company? And I said, not that project. So he said, dump it, not important. But that one you're looking at, I would. So he said, now this is the kind of project you want to approach investors with, because you're losing your time on that one. It might be good return, and but you need to feel it. You need to invest with your heart. So this is what we should all do. We should all work together for projects that will improve humanity, that will improve the quality of life of people, because it brings so much value to the people around. Like this family on Reserve, within 6 months, so they had this mobile home, 20 acres of land, and not doing anything with it. 6 months after, there was an offer by a company to buy the whole project for $60 million. Now, this is good because it will produce many millions of dollars every year, and the family that lives there will have a percentage of that. And that can be put back into the reserve and develop the land and develop the economics there. And then we work with the kids, because those kids have so many ideas, and we will push them and grow them. And that's how you create value out of nothing. And those are the only projects we look at. If we believe, like the triangle of fire, you got 3 elements. With investing, it's the same thing. You have a deal or a project. You have people working on that project that you trust will make it happen, and you need money. Money is a tool, but you need it to make it run, and then it will be self-sufficient and will create value. Now, if you can put those 3 together, you will have a project that will succeed. Now, you can find those projects yourself. You can get pitched over and over again with the best opportunity you've ever seen. But if you don't feel it deep down within you, that you're helping people and you're creating value around, I think you're wasting your time. If you feel like you want to be a part of this, and you don't want to just come in as a stock investor and you trust that this company will succeed, you want to be part of it and be part of the team and be an active investor and help the company grow, the project succeed, and be proud that you were in on day one. Those are the projects we're working on. And this is where you see the biggest chance of your money, of your return on investment being amazing, and the best chance of success because of the value it brings. It can only succeed. So if you want to know more about those projects, you can get me by email at info@guillaumemcmartin.com, or give me a call. We'll have a meeting and I will present you to those amazing top 1% of the 1% of people, and we will work together to change the world. Thank you.
Awesome.